Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining us on From the South. Our top story this Monday morning takes us to Venezuela, where government authorities carried out a vote simulation ahead of December 6 parliamentary elections. The exercise was held as a success due to the large voter turnout. The simulation was to make sure the electoral system is functioning well. About 20 million Venezuelans are registered to vote. They will cast their ballot to choose the 167 members of parliament. President Nicolas Maduro says the country will continue to experience peace and economic progress only if the ruling party wins.
There will only be peace in Venezuela if the revolution wins. There will only be peace, stability, and prosperity in the country, as we will have in 2016 and 2017, only if the revolution wins.
Next door, the Colombian government and leftist FARC rebels reached yet another major agreement over the weekend. Both parties agreed to search for those who have gone missing during the country's more than 50-year-old civil war. Now, this accord solves another of the final remaining issues for peace talks. The two sides achieved a major breakthrough September when they vowed to sign the final peace agreement before March 23rd. Colombia's Attorney General estimates 52,000 people have disappeared during Latin America's longest war. A small plane crashed in Bogota, killing 5 people and injuring 6. Now, former President Andrés Pastrana narrowly had planned to be on that plane to fly to a campaign event, but didn't actually board. No details were given as to why he did not actually board that aircraft. The small plane crashed into a bakery and set it on fire, causing an explosion. Aviation officials say the incident occurred minutes after the plane took off from the city's international airport. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. Bolivia's President Evo Morales announced that 4 spy planes violated the country's airspace over the weekend. The Vice Minister of Defense, Felipe Cáceres, believes it is likely the United States is behind the operation. Now, he said the DEA could have been attempting to estimate the surface in Bolivia dedicated to cultivating coca plants. The official said the violation of airspace has prompted the government to purchase 16 French radars. As the October 25th general elections in Argentina approach, the ruling Progressive Front for Victory Party presidential candidate Daniel Scioli says that negotiating with the vulture funds is not in his agenda. Now, polls project Scioli will win in the runoff election on November 22nd. The popular governor of Buenos Aires province also explained that his campaign was designed to aid the most humble people of the country. At least 3 days have gone by now since Mexican authorities claim to have cornered the Sinaloa cartel leader Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, who, however, once again evaded detention. Now, the government says El Chapo was injured as he escaped, but they failed to clarify how they got so close as to observe he was injured in the face and in the leg without capturing him or any of his associates. The true victims of the operation have been innocent civilians. At least 260 were displaced and 2 disappeared by Marines. Locals accused the Marines of shooting directly at them and their homes. And now we take a brief glance at some of the other stories making the news around the world.
Polls in Canada have opened as over 26 million people are expected to cast their vote. The latest polls indicate the Liberal Party of Justin Trudeau will win the parliamentary elections with about 40% of the votes. According to the polls, the Conservative Party of Prime Minister Stephen Harper will garner 30% of the votes, while the New Democratic Party is expected to come in third with close to 20%. A Forum Research poll said the Liberals would win majority the 338-seat parliament with 171. Harper's ruling party is expected to win 109 seats.
The campaign, started off, I think, being quite a trial of the Harper years, a real sort of a vote, a referendum almost on the Harper years. Harper changed the story of the election 3 or 4 weeks ago in a way which nobody really saw coming, by making immigration issues to do with fear of international terrorism, for lack of a better word, or not to mince words, rather fear of Islam.
The anti-immigration and right-wing Swiss People's Party won the biggest share of the vote in national parliamentary elections, according to preliminary results. The People's Party, known as SVP, won almost 30% of the vote, increasing their presence in the 200-seat parliament to 65. This represents the best election result for any party in at least 100 years. The vote reflects the growing anti-immigrant sentiment in the European Union country. Some voters expressed their dissent with the SVP victory. I would rather live in a country of solidarity and humanism than in a repressive and restrictive country. Egypt kicked off long-awaited parliamentary elections, and according to preliminary results, there was a low voter turnout in the first round of an election called by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The elections are divided into 2 rounds. The first one began Sunday and will continue through this Monday. The runoffs in constituencies where no clear winner has emerged will take place November 22nd and 23rd. Analysts said that with most of Sisi's opponents in jail, the new parliament will unlikely change, but voters express hope.
We've come because we've seen earlier elections that were not good, and this is the first time in Egypt that we have a real election, and everyone should be convinced by it.
The humanitarian crisis in Yemen is intensifying, and currently over 530,000 children face the risk of famine and death. The UN body for children, UNICEF, said a huge humanitarian catastrophe looms over the Arab country, which is being bombed by a Saudi-led coalition since March 26. Since then, over 5,000 people have been killed. This includes over 2,400 innocent civilians and 502 children. Various human rights groups blame the United States for the atrocities being committed by the Saudi-led airstrikes.
Hundreds of people marched in the Colombian capital Bogota, demanding an end to bullfighting. The protesters carried signs criticizing animal cruelty. Others carried coffins meant to represent the slain animals. Colombia's constitutional court removed a ban on bullfighting in Bogota in late September, citing artistic expression and refusing to hold a referendum on the issue. Bullfighting had been banned in Bogota by Mayor Gustavo Petro in 2012. That's what we're covering on this Monday morning here from Caracas. Plenty more on all of those stories and others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For teleSUR English, I'm Cody Weddle. Have a great Monday. Have a great week.